Hello, I'm Reverend Dr. Tracey Olshafer, and this is our Step 4 class. Grab a chair that's not on wheels, somewhere that you can put your feet flat on the floor. Sit in the chair with your spine nice and tall. And we're going to start with bringing our pinky finger together with the thumb. And this is a water gesture, or in yoga we call it a mudra. It helps us to connect with the element water. Water is associated with our second energy center in the sacral area, in the lower back and hip area. And this is responsible for our emotional body. So we're going to dive into our inventory step today, our feelings, our emotions, our physical sensations in our body. And this can be a difficult one. Do your best. If you need to stop at any time and just breathe, I welcome you to do that. So for now, we're going to close our eyes if that's a comfortable thing for you. If not, keep them open and just gaze softly past your nose at one spot. Notice your breath here. Notice the breath as it flows in and out of your nose. Just feel with no judgment. A lot of people say their nose is a little stuffy. That's a common thing here. So if that's the case, just blow your nose, have a tissue handy, take care of that as much as you need to. It's really important to take deep breaths through your nose. You're oxygenating all your cells when you do that, and it has a direct connection with calming the nervous system. As you're breathing and noticing your natural breath, what do you feel? Just do a little inventory. What am I feeling in my body? Maybe starting with that body scan, checking in with the crown of the head, the back of the head, forehead, the ears, the eyes, front of the face, nose, mouth, jaw. Notice the whole head, the neck, the throat. Good opportunity to clear your throat. Notice the chest. What do you feel there? Is there a sensation that the chest is rising and falling? Notice your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Notice the back, the upper back, middle back, low back. And then come back around the front, and what do you feel in your belly? Is the belly naturally expanding and contracting? Notice your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks, your legs, and your feet. And just kind of scan the rest of the body to notice what you're feeling on that physical level. The easiest part of our being is noticing the physical part, and that can be hard enough. But once you have an idea how you're feeling physically in your body, check in with your mental body. What is your mind going through? And what feelings are the thoughts bringing up? What feelings are arising? And remember, there's no judgment. You just notice. And it's here where we're going to pick up some yoga breathing. So this is a 4-4-8 breath, which could be difficult. It means that we're going to inhale to a count of 4, hold our breath for a count of 4, and exhale to a count of 8. That's the hard part. If you can't keep up, I want you to count 3, 3, and 6 instead of 4, 4, and 8. So here we go. Exhale all the air out and begin with an inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now big breath and let it go. And you can do that again if you want. Inhaling and letting go. And when you're letting go, give yourself permission to let go of all the judgments. Any judgments about yourself, about your body, your mind, the emotions that are arising. Remember that this is all about awareness, becoming more aware. You're going to learn so much about yourself if you let yourself really lean into this practice. So this is a water-based practice today. In step 1, 2, and 3, we talked about the earth a lot. In steps 4 and 5, we're going to really feel into the water element. Again, that connects to your emotional body, also the sacral chakra, so your hip area and your lower back, and this water quality of fluidity, right? So being fluid. Sometimes we're just so stuck and tight. So this is going to let us free things up for us. So start by interlacing your fingers. This is an easy one. Just start to roll your wrists a little bit. And see if you can embody the water element. You know, imagine back to a time where you might have been in water that felt comfortable being in water. And you just kind of glided through it with your body. So that means you can get your arms and you can get your elbows kind of moving with it too if you want, or you can just stick with the wrist. But flowing and fluid. You probably noticed these circular or fluid movements. They're not things we normally do in our life, right? So they're different. So you might get little pops. You might free up some space. And I want you to just be open to explore that. Now, go in the opposite direction. And I invite you to also breathe deeply through this practice. If you want to do 4-4-8, you can. That might be too much with the movement. That's up to you. All right, so deep breath. We're going to release that. And we're going to come into body rolls, or some people call them Sufi rolls, but body rolls will work. Make sure your feet are just on the ground for support. We're going to be moving from the hip and low back area as we gently circle the body all the way around. So again, notice what you feel as you're doing these movements. What am I feeling? Do a little inventory. You might go, oh, this feels good, or I don't like this. Those are probably judgments. So I want you to dig a little bit deeper. What do I feel? Oh, that I feel tight in my movement, or restrictive, or for some reason I'm getting angry or upset. It doesn't matter what it is. Just notice what you feel and let yourself feel it. That's important. And again, at any time you want to stop, you just stop. Because one of my teachers used to say that our hips are the emotional garbage cans. It's like where we shove everything down that we didn't want to think about or deal with. That's probably a lot of stuff, right? So it can bring up a lot of stuff. I see this bringing up things in people. All right, let's circle the other way if you're still with me. Just circle and breathe. Noticing. You notice if you breathe through whatever's coming up, whatever you're feeling. If you breathe through it, and you might have to have an emotional outburst, so you might have to cry or stop and scream or something like that. But for most of us, if you sit through it and you just breathe and you let yourself continue, that the charge behind it starts to dissipate. It starts to feel less uncomfortable. And before you know it, you crave these movements and they start to feel really comfortable in your body. All right, let's come back up. And I want you to just get still for a moment. Take a surrender breath. What do you feel? Notice what you feel. You might feel some tingling in your body or a charge, an activation of sorts. There's something happening. Notice what that is. Also notice how the emotional body, how the emotions and the waves, right? The waves of emotions. Sometimes they're heightened, sometimes they're less, but over time they tend to get to be a little bit more comfortable and less challenging as well. Truly. So let's do the movements of the neck. Bring your chin to your chest nice and slow. When we worked with the earth, we held this, but now give yourself permission to flow by circling the head up and around. Now keep those shoulders down as you do the movement. Breathe with it. And make sure you're not scraping your head along the back shoulders. You shouldn't be dropping your head all the way back. You want to keep a little space behind the back of the head. Sometimes I say like a fist worth of space or a baseball worth of space behind the head and neck, so that you know, here's your spine, here's your head, and you're rotating around, right? If it's uncomfortable, you can stop and hold, but keep breathing and keep noticing if it gets easier. As your chin comes down to your chest, just pause for a moment, noticing what you're feeling. And then go the other way, simply rolling the head up and around. Nice and slow, everyone. Nice and slow. Feel into this. And we're going to take it around one more time, all the way. Big circle, chin to chest, everyone. And then bring your head all the way back up. Maybe the eyes are still closed. Take a surrender breath. And again, noticing what you're feeling. Start with the physical sensation, and then notice the mental and emotional feelings. That may be a lot to unpack. Just hang in with it. You can also feel the energy, right? Some of us, if you get real good at tuning in, you'll start to feel the energy part of you. And that's a really cool thing to explore. So we're going to pick up one leg at a time and do some movement of the hip. Pick a leg, pick it up, hold underneath of it, and just circle it around. Circle it around. Get a little movement in that hip joint. And again, this might feel super stiff. That's all right. No judgment. Even if you're just like, oh, I can barely lift it up. Do the best you can, circling around. Talked about the second energy center, and this is has an orange color to it. So sometimes when I'm working specifically in the hip area, I like to envision this orange color kind of wrapping around like a figure 8 on its side or an infinity symbol. Just kind of circling around one hip, going over and around the other hip and back. All right, circle the other way now. Same hip. What you might be feeling now is a lot of energy in this hip or heat. Notice what's coming up. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm getting tired. Notice that. And then we're going to place this foot back on the ground and just shake that out. Big surrender breath here. Because remember, we might be unlocking some emotions that we shove down in those garbage cans in your hips. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to feel the stuff. You want to feel the stuff. You want to connect to the physical manifestation of those collected memories and collected feelings and emotions that are stored from the past. That's how we heal, by releasing them. And that's surrender breath. You know, when you want to scream, maybe you just go really loud and let it out. Are you ready for the other side? Maybe you just need to sit here and cry. That's all right too. Feel what you're feeling. Otherwise, we're going to pick up the other leg and we're going to start to roll that around, moving the hip joint and noticing what it feels like as we're doing this without judgment. So try not to think, well, this feels good or bad. Dive deeper. What am I really feeling? And at this point, you might notice what's different. Well, my other side moved better, or this side's moving better, or wow, I feel different things here on this side. Just notice that, because it's every little thing is energy. Let's go the other way. Maybe you're feeling a lot of charge. It's okay to feel it. Go with the flow. Be that water element. Or visualize that orange ball or gesture of light circling through the hips. And then placing that one on the floor. Big sigh. Close your eyes. If that's comfortable for you, close your eyes and notice what you feel. Maybe a lot of tingling in the body. I wouldn't be surprised if you're really able to tune in how much energy and charge you're feeling. Because the water element really kicks things up, gets things going. The earth element, it provides us stability and it allows us the permission to just be. But here, the quality is, what do we feel? And the affirmation is, I feel, right? So you want to allow yourself the permission to feel that. And constantly doing this inventory, always. So make sure you're not against the back of the chair, because we're going to do some spinal undulations. In fact, I'll turn to the side so you can see that just a little bit better. So the spine, the vertebrae, from the base of the skull down to the tailbone, we know it has flexibility, but it's probably pretty stiff. So I want you to try to do these movements to the best of your ability. As you inhale, you're going to arch your back, look up, drop the head back. And then as you exhale, go in the opposite direction, chin to chest, belly pulls in. You notice I slide my hands down the legs. As I inhale, I bring the hands up the thighs so I can pull the shoulders back, look up and arch. And as I exhale, rotating in the opposite way with the spine, chin to chest. Again, inhale, arch up. And exhale back. Go slow. And maybe just a couple more times. Back and forward. I always used to tell my students this is like medicine for your spine. So if you have any issues with your back, this is just like medicine. Or if you feel like the Tin Man, this is like oiling all those squeaky joints. Right? And then coming back up. And we're going to just take a moment to notice what we feel. You can do the surrender breath if it's too much charge. Let it go with no judgment. And notice how you feel. Again, there might be waves of energy pouring in, waves of energy. That water element, it's just constantly feeding us, right? And our body, you know, is about 70% water. So we really respond to these movements quickly. It brings things up quickly, it heightens energy quickly, and we don't have to stay there too long. That's why these are short practices, and to digest as much as you can. So closing your eyes, maybe you feel that figure 8 or infinity symbol just kind of swirling through that area as maybe an orange current of light through the sacral area, or maybe you feel it all the way through your body. Right? Some of you just kind of like, wow, I feel it beyond my body. I feel this energy flow. We're all different and there's no judgment. So we're going to bring our hands into our heart for a moment as I remind you of step 4. Step 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory. A searching. We got to keep seeking. We got to keep looking. All in the tiny nooks and crannies because energy hides out there. And fearless. We have to be fearless. We have to step into this stuff because recovery is not easy. And this is something you have to work all the time. So noticing your sensations, right? Noticing, taking a little inventory. And on the inhale, we're going to just notice, what do we notice? And then on the exhale, as we send it out, we're going to let go of any judgments. Release any judgments. Let's do this a couple times. We're inhaling up. We're releasing any judgments. We're inhaling, we're noticing. What do we notice? Take that inventory. Let go of judgments. And then we'll go the other way, flowing like water, because water doesn't just travel in one neat path. Inhale. What do you feel? What do you notice? Exhale, letting go of judgment. 2 more times. Inhale, noticing. What do I feel? Letting go of the judgments. And last one, inhaling it up. And releasing. Nice and slow. What do you feel? Do that inventory. And then we're going to sit back in the chair. And the last thing we're going to do is roll the ankles. You may not be able to see it. I'm going to pick up your feet and just roll your ankles around. But have your back against the back of the seat so that you're supported. Releasing the ankles, go the opposite way with those circles. And then plant the feet back on the earth. So you can leave your palms facing down, or you can come back to the water gesture, pinky touching the thumb. Again, close the eyes if that's comfortable for you. And let's do another inventory. Just noticing first the feet, the bottom of the feet, the top of the feet. Just bring awareness to the body parts as I call them out and notice what you're feeling. Your ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, buttocks, hips, pelvis, lower belly, upper belly, lower back, middle back, upper back, chest and rib cage, collarbones, shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, palm of the hand, top of the hand, fingers, back to the collarbones, throat, neck, jaw, lower jaw, teeth, tongue, upper palate, back of the throat, upper jaw, nose, cheeks, ears, eyes, temples, back of the head, forehead, crown of the head. Notice the whole body as one vibratory field. Notice the energy around your body, the aura. Notice how far it expands and what that feels like. What sensations are there? What do you feel when you focus on the mind and the thoughts and the emotions? The spiritual part of you, what do you notice there? What does that feel like? The connection to your higher power, or the lack of, what does that feel like? And the last part of us, the most subtle part of us, the bliss body, is called many things by many different religions or traditions. Some call it nirvana, the Buddhists call. The Abrahamic religions may refer to it as heaven or the Garden of Eden. Yogis or Hindus, they may call it samadhi or shambhala. And notice what that feels like. If there is a connection there, notice what it feels like. Maybe it feels like you could stay there forever if you have that connection. It certainly could. And you could pause the button and stay here longer, or you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes and move into your body again. We didn't do shoulder rolls, but maybe you want to do a couple of those now and just kind of feel into the shoulders or any other part of your body that you want to explore for sensation and feeling, doing that little inventory. Using that surrender breath when you need it. And we're going to come back into the gesture, which we call Anjali, a little space between the hands as you place them at your heart. And recalling our step 4, made a searching and moral inventory. And so releasing the judgments that come with that inventory, releasing and letting go. Letting go is a really big part of working through some of the stuff here. So this is about awareness. It's just noticing. So thank yourself for showing up. Thank yourself for what you were able to do today. Maybe you come back to this another time if it was difficult or if there's too much charge. Thank you for taking this inventory class with us. The light and the dark in me bows and honors the light and the dark in you. One day at a time. One moment at a time.